Hey everyone, Steve here. So for this episode, I'm at the Conclave here in Colorado Springs and our annual get-together that we have. I think last year we had over 175 people that came in from all around the nation. The first year we did it in 2020, we actually had some people come in internationally. And so it's a great time for me to connect with people and get some great stories for people that I otherwise wouldn't have been able to get. But there's a member, if you're in the Facebook group, named Buzz. He's in the Pacific Northwest. And if you're in the Facebook group, you have undoubtedly seen Buzz's posts. And we were talking, I said, I want to finally get your podcast. And he was like, all right, because what I'm doing right now, I'm doing, this work in kingdom coordinating and networking and getting stuff done. And can it just be for the private feed? And so for this episode, it's a Patreon only one. And for those of you that don't know, you've heard me talk about the Patreon, but really Patreon is what helps to keep the lights on, if you will. It's not paying me. It's not making enough to actually pay me, but I really would like it to get to the point where I can use it to travel to other groups on a quarterly basis, maybe even a little more often, maybe every other month. Go out to Charlotte and go down to Tampa and go back to Orlando and down to Miami and meet those guys. And so if that sounds interesting, please go to Patreon, and there's a link here in the podcast show notes. You can support us, really, for as little as $2 a month, I think is the entry level. But for $5 a month, you'll get these Patreon-only episodes. And you'll also get access to, as I said, discounts in the swag store. So we have shirts and glasses, laser-etched glasses, bourbon glasses, nubbers and hats and polo. We now have polos, and we're getting a lot more. I'm planning on getting some sweatshirts and Guayabera shirts. I've had a lot of people request that, and so I've priced those out. And so after the Conclave, after we blow out a bunch of stuff, I'm probably going to get some Guayabera shirts, order some really nice Cuban Guayabera shirts embroidered with the logo. So becoming a Patreon supporter really helps me to pay the bills. Like today, this morning, I was a few minutes late for this interview with Buzz because I stopped by a local Safeway to buy $50 worth of batteries, and those batteries cost money, and paying the hosting fees costs money, and paying my editors to edit this. And I'd love to take the show notes off of my plate and give that to my assistant who's doing a fantastic job. And so that costs money. And so becoming a Patreon supporter is a great way to get access to interviews like Buzz and a few that we pulled off of the feed because they don't want it to be out there publicly, and some episodes that for security reasons, they want their episode to be just amongst the people that are in a more limited way. They don't want that big outreach that being out here in the public feed would pose to them. And so, please consider becoming a Patreon supporter or giving us a donation. Information is in the show notes. So thanks.